Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, Erica Barker. On tonight's show, with the latest announcement that Siemens is to invest, we visited a school in North Lincolnshire hoping to inspire its pupils to consider a career in engineering. And I'm joined by Graham Chapman and Sarah Brown, classic car enthusiasts from Grimsby. But first, here's James Durner with the news headlines.
Hello. In the headlines today, the council announces plans to clean up the streets of North East Lincolnshire, and a robot is visiting schools to teach them about a greener future. North East Lincolnshire Council is to invest £150,000 in tackling dog fouling after removing 2.1 tonnes of mess from local streets since September. The mess was among 571 tonnes of waste removed as part of the Tidy Up Together scheme, but highlighted the persistent problem. The council will develop education awareness courses which can be used as an alternative to prosecution, and will issue fixed penalty notices. There will also be more street cleansing, use of CCTV to catch dogs and their owners in the act, and dog control orders for persistent offenders.
We're doing it because it's what the people want. It's what our community are telling us loud and clear. You know, in every community forum, every parish council that I've been involved with over the last few years, dog mess and litter come very much at the top of their agenda. There are real issues affecting everybody in the community. You know, you've got to have, you know, a punitive approach, but also it needs to be hand in hand with an education and training, and to challenge those behaviours. So part of the approach we're envisaging in this new £150 scheme is to have training courses and awareness raising and publicity around that. But equally, you know, I'm keen that where all else fails, we take a very hard line on dog mess.
Stagecoach bus services in Grimsby, Scunthorpe and Hull have increased their bus fares by around 10% this week. The announcement was made on the Stagecoach website, stating that fares will be increasing by a minimum of 10p on all services. The maximum single fare in Grimsby and Cleethorpes now stands at £1.50, increased from £1.40, and return fares in Scunthorpe are now £3. In Hull, the single fare price is now £1.70. A man has died following a serious crash on the A1164 yesterday morning. The incident happened shortly before 7:20 a.m. when the man's blue Skoda Octavia collided with an HGV lorry. He was declared dead at the scene, and the road was closed for several hours between the Ketch roundabout and the Humber Bridge roundabout, whilst police conducted inquiries. The driver's family has been informed of their loss. A new book has claimed that former Grimsby MP Anthony Crossland had a love affair with prominent Labour MP Roy Jenkins. Jenkins served as Home Secretary under Prime Minister Harold Wilson in the 60s, but knew Grimsby's MP Crossland from their Oxford University days. The book, Roy Jenkins, A Well-Rounded Life, claims that the pair, who later became cabinet colleagues, had a love affair during their studies, and Crossland even tried to halt Jenkins' marriage. Grimsby's MP Austin Mitchell was elected into Crossland's seat and said that he had great respect for both MPs, who he knew well. He praised the biography and said he was shocked by the claims, but that public schools at that time had a much higher tolerance for homosexuality.
We'll never know the entire truth, but as far as the evidence goes, there was a homosexual relationship. I was quite shocked, actually. You know what these public school chaps are, and homosexuality seems to be less seriously regarded in a public school environment when it's an all-boy environment. But it's kind of outside my worldview and outside my world. And now, coming from a grammar school, I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
Children in North Lincolnshire are being taught the importance of recycling, but not by teachers, by a talking robot. It sings, lights up and even does a bit of rapping, and it's hoped it'll inspire kids to recycle themselves, especially old electrical items. The robot will be visiting 10 schools across the region, and we caught up with the Keep Britain Tidy team at Home Valley Primary School in Scunthorpe.
Today was really interesting. We all like all the shows, and it was really fun because the robot came and taught us something, especially things that we didn't know, and it was quite interesting.
And what did you think of it?
It was fun when he was doing all the songs and when he kept telling us all the stuff.
He senses what we say and can hear us. It's something that we've noticed over the last 15, 16 years that the project's been running, that it always works. The children will listen, will be engaged for the full length of time that it requires to get the full message across. And because it's coming from him, and he's probably the age and the height of a 8-year-old child anyway, so, you know, that's why it works.
That's all from me, and I'll see you next time.
Teachers at Baysgarth School in Barton are aiming to equip their students with the skills required for the emerging wind turbine industry. With Siemens set to create over 1,000 jobs, it's hoped future pupils will have the knowledge to be first in line. Our reporter Richard York went to find out more.
Baysgarth School in Barton is hoping to prepare its students for the changing industry on the Humber and Lincolnshire coast. The school set their pupils the challenge of designing and creating their own working wind turbine models. Andrew Dixon, the school's Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths coordinator, says schools must ensure they give their children the skills they need to find jobs in the emerging industries.
In terms of STEM as a whole, Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths, there is a national shortage of STEM skills for people moving into jobs. A lot of the companies in the local area, Siemens for example, Conoco, they're having to purchase engineers in from abroad at large salaries. So it's a case of we have to identify this skills shortage and make sure our pupils are in the best possible situation moving forward, so that when they come out of Baysgarth School, out of our sixth form, they have the right qualifications to go on and study degrees, work for these companies and become engineers.
We've been making wind turbines and we've been learning different things and jobs to do with making them and making sure that they provide enough electricity to serve their purpose.
I've enjoyed the creativity and making of the wind turbines. We're not finished yet, but when it does, it will be a good design, I guess.
I really enjoyed today because we was working together in teams and we got to figure out what we were all really good at.
Our group have made a wind turbine. At the minute, we're just trying to angle the blade so it'll catch the wind to make more amplitude. So that's all we've been doing today, basically, and it's been really fun, actually.
Lloyd's Cars was a British motor manufacturer founded by Roland Lloyd, son of a garage owner, and based in Patrick Street, Grimsby in the 1930s. Now classic car enthusiasts Graham Chapman and Sarah Brown from the town are appealing for help to find one of the cars ahead of a show in August. So Graham, if I could come to you first, what is this about?
It's about well, obviously getting all the community together and showing some history of Grimsby and Cleethorpes. So we're trying to put this show on the 23rd and 24th of August at the Meridian Showground. 30s, 40s and 50s weekend. So we want this car to try and show a bit of history of Grimsby. So.
Now this car, is it quite an unusual car now? Do you see many of them driving around?
You don't see any driving around. We know there's two somewhere in Grimsby and we're still trying to find them.
Right, fantastic.
So
who do you think may have some information on this then?
We think there's some in Healing, just outside of Grimsby, but we're still trying to contact the owner. So we might get hold of him soon, hopefully, with a bit of luck.
Right, hopefully. Sarah, if I could come to you, the classic show then, why is this going ahead?
We thought that, well, Graham always wanted to do a classic car show anyway, so we thought it'd be a good opportunity to get everyone involved, and it's all about the local community, getting different community groups involved, and that's it really, just to put something on that everyone would be interested in, and obviously showing about the cars as well.
So what can people expect to see?
Well, there's going to be the burlesque, the Cat's Pyjamas from Grimsby. They're going to be performing on the Saturday evening. We've got 40s, 50s, 60s live music. A lot of those are local bands. We've got Kevin Chapman Fish Cakes. They're going to be doing a pop-up fish and chip restaurant. We've got a 1950s cafe being run. So there's all sorts of things really. Yeah.
Now when it comes to classic cars, is there something lovely that people can see that they may not have seen before? Because I've not really seen many classic cars, I don't think.
Well, that's what they're hoping with the Lloyd's cars. If we can get the Lloyd's car, not many people know about it, and it is a local part of our history. So if we could show it, then it gives something back to the local community.
And what's your interest in classic cars then? Is it something you've been doing for a long time?
Yeah, I purchased a garage 10 years ago. Classic Graham Chapman classic cars. We'll restore them, sell them, hire them out, buy them. So we do all sorts to them, and that's what we do. So.
And do you have any other events lined up in the future?
We're always looking to see what's going to go on, but if this one goes well, I hope to make it a yearly thing, a yearly show, so we can do it again and probably put some more on if we can.
And is this something that the whole family can attend then, or is this something that for a certain age group, or is that a bit of an assumption?
Yeah, it's for everybody, and anybody who's interested in classic cars, bit of vintage, and it'll just hopefully be a really good day out over the 2 days. So good weekend for everybody, you know, and trying to attract tourism as well. So we've got the campsite next door involved, so there'll be, you know, people want to bring their camper vans or, you know, another classic vehicle, so they can do that. Yeah.
And just coming back to the Lloyd car then, is that quite a sight to see if that's something you're able to get?
Yeah, I think it would be, yeah. With it being a local part of the history of Grimsby, obviously they made it here, so it would be nice to see and have it on show. And it should be on show for people to see. It's a bit of history of Grimsby and Cleethorpes. So.
And could you maybe tell me a little bit about the history of Grimsby and Cleethorpes?
About the car? Well, I only know where it was made in Patrick Street. We're just trying to find out information on it now. So we've got people are sending us in bits of memorabilia and press cuttings of when it was on show and how it was made and where it was made. And we're talking to quite a few people who used to work at the actual garage where it was made. So we're trying to attract as much information as we can, but we really want the car so we can show the car. So.
And if there's anyone out there listening or watching now, what would you say to them?
Come along and see the show, and if you know anything or whereabouts the Lloyd car is, if you can give us any contact details.
And do you have any kind of information online that people could maybe go to see what's happening? Or
they can go onto our website, they go onto our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and check out what's happening with the show and anything that's happening on there.
And for this event, is it a free event then, or is it tickets for this?
It's tickets, it's ticketed, yeah.
And how much are the tickets?
It's £15 a day, and it's £25 for the weekend ticket, and children under 13 are free, because we're putting on quite a lot of free entertainment for the children as well. So hopefully, if parents, you know, children are happy, then parents are happy as well.
I understand there's a classic car auction as well.
Yes, there is on the Sunday afternoon. We've got Charles Hanson from local TV who's coming to do the auction. We're also looking for people who want to sell any classic memorabilia, classic cars obviously. They can put them through the auction. So that's going to happen on the Sunday. So hopefully if we get that going, it'll be another draw to the show on the Sunday.
And what kind of people would get involved with this then?
We're hoping for a broad range, from young people to old people. The classic car people are usually, it's clubs, local clubs, Links Life Motor Club, that, for instance, they're usually involved, MG Owners Club and people like that, mini clubs and stuff. We're trying to attract the Volkswagen Owners Club to see if they can come. So if you're listening and you want to come.
But it's anyone really who shows an interest in cars, and you know, people might not think that they're interested in cars until they come along to the show and think, oh, you know, it's quite nice.
And for the auction then, is the money involved in this? What kind of goes into it?
Yes, I'm afraid there is, yes.
Are we looking at big bucks for this?
Obviously, well, it depends on what they're auctioning off. It depends on if they're auctioning off a classic or a vintage car and what the price it goes for. Obviously, they'll have to put a fee on it of what they will want, and if it goes over it, then it gets sold, and it goes from there.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today, but I'll be back at the same time tomorrow. And don't forget, if you have any stories, problems or views that you want to share with us, you can get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, on Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV, or email us news@estuary.tv. Until next time, goodbye.